so many items that mages have.
Yeah, but I feel like if they just put Kanix Ruker plus the other MR items, they're kind of useless.
I don't know, man. They have so many. Like it used to be, there was only two magic pen items in the game, and it was mask and it was void staff. And now there's at least like six that like have magic pen on it. Or you can there's only Leandries for burn, which kind of sucks. But like there's a couple more that do other things.
Let me make sure.
Honestly, support item is kind of strong too. Like
Oh shit!
the support item with the mage item, the support item does damage on like ultimate or whatever. So that shit's crazy too.
Hold your horses, ladies and gentlemen. This is Fas el Mago.
How is everyone doing here?
Oh, hold up.
Hey.
Let's get
Good, good.
Can we get Yino in the chat real quick?
He's here.
Oh, he is?
Yep.
Okay,
He's here. So, just a little quick intro. I'll let you guys know. So, this is a really, really good personal friend of mine. His name is Benjamin Hannon, also known as Fas Scripter, Fas the Magi, currently grinding with in his kind of timeless moment. So, he's done. He has. He's been. I mean, and he can tell you a lot more about. But I'll tell you about my experience with him. I've seen this guy see like schedule in like a little blocks, and to if they do this stuff like that, entire drafts and literally I remember clearly one time when it was like, oh yeah, I guess they just didn't think about it that much. We were too ahead of the game. They didn't, and there was stuff open and they did not even see that. So like he's played professionally. He got a team to first division in LAN, right? He promoted a team as mid laner. He also was the also he then went to, I don't know if he went to another team or not, but then he went to he went to Ordo after that. Then he should have promoted another team, that same split, but then Riot changed the thing. Came back, did the stream thing for a little while, but while in Mexico and while he was being a player, where he would have promoted that team, he also stepped in as coach for the national championship team of Mexico. He went to Kaohsiung, Taiwan. I think it's like in 2018 or something like that. As coach, got a top 8 there, and every team afterwards, you know, I always refer back to Fas because like he knows more that I've learned, I think, more from Fas that I can ever have teach him. Like, 'cause I just have some crazy ideas that sometimes work out, but he can tell you with like an Excel sheet exactly why this is actually mathematically correct. I was just talking to him a little while ago, and he's what you said? What did you said, Fas? Like what, like 80% win rate and D1 right now?
On Casio specifically, yeah, but
What a throw! All right, so that's it. That's my intro. That's my intro. Put your hands together, like we're in a rap episode, right? So yeah, the floor is yours, Mr. Mago.
okay, so I'm gonna start off by saying hi to everyone. I hope everyone's having a good day and their solo queue is treating them well.
It's not as terrible.
Could I start off by asking everyone to quickly introduce themselves, tell me like briefly kind of the style you prefer playing in your role?
Yeah, I guess I'll go. I play support for our team right now. I think I'm one of two supports that we have. I'm actually a mid lane. Like I've been on the team here for like since I was a freshman, which was like 5 years ago. And I already graduated and I went to grad school. That's why I'm still here. But basically, I was a mid laner for all that time, and then Legend came on and he was better than me, so I decided to just relegate myself to support. So I'm really comfortable with mages, but I've been practicing with the AD carry here with a couple of like Lulu and like a Karma game, and then I'm also pretty comfortable with tanks too because I play jungle a lot. So yeah, the enchanters are the ones that are a little less comfortable for me, but I'm working on it.
Okay.
We've also been practicing a little Senna Tom Kench or something like that in bot lane.
Yeah, we've tried like Senna, Tom Kench, where I play Senna and Yuno plays Tom. But yeah, just trying new things.
And then the AD carry?
I am I guess what they call me. I can just play any style really that I need to be played. So versatile, I guess. That's about it.
Okay. And Legend, I've already met you. And then we have a top and jungle here as well, I'm assuming.
No, our jungle is currently in Israel and he's on his way back. But
Damn, he's still there?
He's
plays,
like on his way back today.
Oh
like,
shit!
He's flying
okay.
back.
Yeah. He's pretty good. He plays a lot of like Graves, Volley,
Yeah,
stuff like
Graves.
that.
Yeah, Graves, Volley, Kazakhs, like just
Okay.
just pretty meta. I think I've seen him play Kane once or twice. I'm not sure. Can't remember, but.
And then,
top lane, are you?
he just said he's
typing in chat.
He said,
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, I'm here. I was just eating. So Mati, the younger brother of Manuel, my preferred probably playstyle would be early AD skirmishers. So Renekton, Aatrox, and Theon, who like actually have some sort of like agency in the game. And then I like every top laner. I can play them more or less as long as I start training them or practicing them.
Okay. So, some good news there is you guys do play some of the stuff that's going to be leading into the meta. Obviously, I can't say that everything I say is going to be 100% what ends up happening. Riot does tend to pretty rapidly change balance near the start of seasons. But in general, what we're looking at is two styles of play that are going to come out. The first is going to be teams that are based around double enchanter bot lane with heavy teamfight focus, effectively. And the second style is going to pretty much devolve into 1-3-1 scaling, where mid lane picks a hyperscaler that can side lane, top lane picks a split pusher, you play 1-3-1, your AD carry is some form of wave clear. Probably Xayah is going to come out as the most popular pick in that style, but it is a bit up in the air on balance. When I think about what you guys have just told me for compositions, I think you might do a little better with the teamfight style, which does kind of lean more into the double support bot lane, but there are options around it. Like you can play engagement, like a Rakan Jhin, for example, in bot lane, or I don't know if you have any practice playing Rel. I didn't hear you mention it, but things like Rel are very, very strong right now as well with the move speed support item.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
If we run double support, what if like I could run like Karma mid or like Seraphine mid, and then we'd run double support that way?
Oh no. So the problem is the reason double support works is because the support item right now is very overtuned. So you're going the support item on both the people bot lane, and then you both have the upgrade.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I've been seeing a lot of like Seraphine AD that does that in my games.
Yeah, so there's also a couple players doing like MF, for example, as the AD carry, so to say, but you really just both last hit. And then MF ends up going a regular AD carry build after it fully upgrades, like a regular lethality setup. It's just the item gives an insane amount of power once it's upgraded, and because of the additional control but there is counterplay to the setup, and the counterplay is supports like Rel, like Nautilus, where you have a very heavy engagement. Tarek is actually super good at this as well. And you pretty much just force fights. You have some sort of tank jungler as your engage. You have, let's say, a Tarek or a Rel that's flashing in on the enemy team. And you guys just try to kill them before they can kite you. But the problem is, you are going to be playing, in competitive at least probably, into people playing like Seraphine Tarek, playing Seraphine Tom Kench, let's say. You might run into Seraphine Sona, but that one I don't think will be quite as popular just because it's not as safe. Any of these combinations are absurdly difficult to deal with right now once they scale up, and it's very hard to really punish them in the early game. You can win, but the main winning aspect is through split push top laners, and from what you were telling me of top lane pool, we mostly play things like Aatrox, which are team fighters.
He does play a pretty good Gwen. Like, that'd be... like...
Okay, so Gwen is a pretty good split pusher, and Gwen's very strong right now. Do you play a decent number of the split pushing mids as well? Because in theory, you'd have wave clear AD carry then and play 1-3-1 to avoid their team fight strength.
Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to pick up Fizz, probably like the best one like that. But fuck, let me try to think about some champs.
You play Kassadin.
I do play Kassadin. I've been trying to learn this AD LeBlanc, but I don't think I'm quite ready for that. But I've been playing some games of that. Also.
So, one thing I would caution you about AD LeBlanc with, I'm not sure how long your season is, but Freak has spoken to this about the AD LeBlanc, that he's not willing to allow it to remain strong. And they did actually include it in the hotfix nerf that we just got.
Yeah.
I mean, I would expect if people keep playing it, because they are still playing it after the nerf, that they're probably just going to nerf it again.
I can also play like Yone and Zed, I guess, would be like the other ones I could play. Like, would it be AD though?
I mean, you don't need to be an AD split pusher. It's just you need a split pusher in general. Either that or your AD carry could be the split pusher and you could be the wave clear. That's the other way of playing that style.
Yeah.
It's slightly awkward because usually the mid laners as champions scale more off levels than the bot laners do.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm just going to very quickly share screen on a very basic slideshow I put together for this. It's not really anything in depth. It's more just to go over specifics of the lanes. Screen 1 live. Okay. And okay. So just let me know when everyone's ready.
Yep.
I'm on it.
I'm in.
I'm in it.
I will assume we're good then. So, I kind of just talked about this a little bit. Strongest top laners right now are either pure tank or pure split push. What you're going to be looking for is rotation for objective. Plates are good to take, but they're not as guaranteed in most scenarios, just due to how unsafe you are without the escape angle that used to exist in top lane. You used to be able to be hitting tower and have 2 ways out. Now if they have a flank on you, they kind of just come from directly behind you and you can't go anywhere. This is win rates of Korean players that over Diamond 2, or rather pick priority plus win rate in a slight formula. You can see that's mostly split pushing champions that have high win rates in top lane. But among them, you do have some ability to play tanks, for instance. The problem is right now, the AP champions have insane sustain through Riftmaker, and the AD champions have insane damage through Titanic Hydra. sorry, the Bruiser champions do, rather. And Freak actually talked about this as well, that they're aware that Titanic Hydra is completely overtuned right now. Because most people that are smart and taking advantage of it are going Titanic Hydra first item in a lot of these champions that are Bruisers. And they're just using the auto reset to do insane damage. So, in jungle, I know you mentioned Graves is one of his favorite champions, so that's a good thing. Graves is very, very strong right now.
It is like perma-banned against us, though. Like last season was perma-banned, and so far all of our scrims it's been banned.
And also the season before he came on, it was also perma-banned.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So, it's very, very hard to gank mid lane. It's very hard, actually, to gank any of the lanes right now if people play properly, because there's not as many angles to attack a lane if they're playing safe as there used to be. The new river bushes are much easier to control as a defensive style. So you mostly will be seeing junglers play for objective and play for vision control on camps. Because once you have vision control on the camp, you know which lane your enemy jungler can't be in. You can take away jungle camps, or you can take an objective for free if you know they're on opposite side. It's very difficult to play a heavy snowball style in the jungle right now. It's much better to pick something that's better in the mid to late game. You can see that among these junglers, the only one that's really sort of a snowball champion is Rel. And even Rel is more of a team fighter. And Rengar is more of a split pusher in the style that you would play it here. Something of kind of interesting note is that among the various first objective secure win rates, first tower and first herald are by far a higher win rate than first dragon is. It's very important to understand, though, that from these statistics, the team that gets, for instance, like a dragon and a herald as both of them, they have like an 80% win rate almost. Herald alone is close to a 70% win rate.
I'm not seeing first grubs
Unfortunately,
on here.
they didn't actually add the Void Grubs data into this stat site I like using yet. I wasn't able to find any sources where they pulled that from the API. I'm not sure if Riot made it public yet. I will tell you that, in general, while dragons are very strong and they're almost guaranteed win once you have soul, the reality is, right now, towers, kills, and, control over vision to prevent towers and kills from the enemy team coming out, that is what really matters right now. You don't want to trade a dragon for, like, a couple plates, for instance, anymore. That's not, like, a winning style. Or it's not as winning of a style as it would have once been. In mid lane, you really want champions that can either hyperscale or that can just push mid and roam. Specifically, roam into the river to take river control so you can take Herald. Among the caster mages, Taliyah is by far the strongest.
Yeah, so you're saying we want to put a little more emphasis on top lane right now? Like top side of the map, top side of the map?
Want to focus top side of the map. The thing I want to caution you on is good teams, if you counterpick top lane, there's no reason they have not to just lane swap on you and send the two people top. I've seen a couple people playing things like Tahm Kench in bot lane, and what they would do is they're just playing Tahm Kench 2v1, and then they send their bot lane top. So, like, for instance, like, you pick Tahm Kench, they pick Fiora to counter the Tahm Kench lane. You say, okay, I'm going to pick Janna Jinx, right? Send them both top lane. Fiora can't really do anything in the 2v1. It's very difficult to tower dive a Tahm Kench. It's very difficult to tower dive a couple champions, really, but it's just something to keep in mind, that your enemies don't necessarily need to allow you to play the style that you try to pick. And there's a lot of things open right now that Riot doesn't seem like they're going to be removing going into the season. If you're comfortable playing it, I would really suggest practicing hyperscaling mids. But if you're not comfortable playing things like the Cassiopeia or the Azir, it's very viable to just play any roaming mid laner like Twisted Fate, or any very strong team fighter like Nico. Because you need some way of getting onto the backline, or some way of massively advantaging your team and taking Herald lead effectively.
What about Galio?
Galio is very strong as well. Galio does fall off incredibly hard against good teams. So keep in mind that Storm Surge did just get a hotfix nerf. It wasn't a huge one, but they did nerf the damage by a decent chunk. Galio is still good, but if you play Galio and let's say your enemy plays Talia, it is very hard to play out the game. Because you'll get stunned when you E in, and then you won't be able to W until they've already done half your health, and they will be out of range of your W. You can ban Talia as a Galio player, but then there's other answers like, for instance, Akshan. Or, for instance, they could play AD LeBlanc into it, they can play Twisted Fate and go on hit. It's not that it's bad, it's that it's a risky blind pick, because it doesn't flex that well into other lanes right now.
I got you, but if I were to save it for like counter pick into a Kali or something, it'd still be really good.
Yes, it's really good in the case that you know your matchup and you know it's a comfortable matchup. Into an Akali, it's super good. If your team is synergized around it, like you have a Camille top lane, Camille is playing for split push, that's fine. So, bot lane, this is the biggest champion pool role in the game right now. Literally every champion in the game pretty much can be played in the AD carry role or the bot laner role, and it will kind of work right now. You can play supports, you can play AD carries, you can play Senna plus various tanks. The strongest thing in the game right now is very clearly AD carries that can abuse Collector or Ghostblade.
Yeah.
In general, the reason champions like Jhin and like Draven perform so well in Misfortune is because Collector is very, very overtuned right now. Again, something that Freak acknowledged in his latest patch rundown. Just kind of awkwardly, there isn't a safe farming AD carry right now that can 2v1 if the support goes roaming that easily. Ezreal is not particularly good with the current items. Trinity Force is a lot weaker than it used to be.
Does the Yasuo Maokai sound good to you right now?
It should be fairly strong, yeah. That's one of the engagement styles to try to counter the double support. I would say that Rel is probably just stronger than Maokai.
Yeah, we were looking at Maokai for possibly a flex pick jungle, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And it's not that Maokai is bad in any way. It's just Maokai is how do I put this? Maokai is a champion that does magic damage when a lot of the current itemization for tanks is magic damage based. So AD tanks will tend to scale better into the game. But if you're playing it in the AP Maokai support style, or you're playing it with a composition that has very low other sources of magic damage other than like a mid laner, that's completely fine.
Okay, so you're saying avoid tank Maokai.
Avoid too many AP champions, because MR items right now are much better than armor items.
Gotcha.
Like, the existence of things like Rockern, as I'm sure you're aware, is
busted.
kind of absurd.
Yeah.
And keep in mind that if you really want to abuse these things, I think I talked to you guys a bit about this. The item Haste Rune in Genius Hunter does work on all these passive items, including, for example, Rocker and Shield cooldown, including the healing burst from the Despair item.
Does it affect Energize too?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
What are your
If you can get away with running Domination Tree on tanks, it's incredibly strong.
What are your thoughts on like tanks mid? Let's say we had like a carry top, carry jungle, or something like that.
Very good.
And like I were to run like Ornn or Scion or something mid, or like Asante.
Ornn, Scion,
Asante.
Tanks mid are very good. They very hard counter things like Galio. That's the other risk of a Galio pick. They very hard counter pretty much any assassin in the game you could name. They are risky if your opponent is holding mid lane, because they can pick Cassiopeia Azir into it. Or Akshan is actually very good against tanks as well, just because of his kiting ability. But other than them, yeah, that does work out very well for you. And I guess Nico is kind of the weird one out, because Nico can kite you incredibly hard with her W autos. So, support. I think we already talked about it. Enchanter supports are incredibly strong. Engagement supports are incredibly strong. You don't really want to be in the middle of that. That's, you're going to find that the enchanters will tend to win less unless you're playing double enchanter. Engagement is a much stronger style in pro play, because the team that makes the first play is the one that decides the rhythm of the game. In general, waiting for your opponents to mess up isn't necessarily a bad style, but it's a very hard style to execute cleanly, because all it takes is someone being out of position, and you can't take vision control as easily as the team that has the enchanter support if you don't have some form of ball setup. Like, if you have a tank jungler and two enchanters with them, obviously you can safely set up vision, but then you need everyone constantly together to control the vision. And that's why you need the enchanters, not like Soraka, but instead like Seraphine or Sona that are amplifying move speed. Or Senna. Or Bard, right? You could even do.
How do you suggest playing into the Seraphine AD carry bot lane? Because I've been losing every game to that, so I've been banning it.
So, unfortunately, the counterplay is being the bot laner against it. There's two things. One, the majority of AD carry players in solo queue go armor runes even against Seraphine AD carry because they're stupid. Two,
you need your AD carry and support to pick engagement. So you will pretty much guarantee that you'll win if you have any decent player on like Jhin, for example, or Xayah against those champions, because they have incredible burst damage and CC, and Seraphine has no escape tools. So if you have those champions, or you have like even a Varus AD carry, for example,
Yeah, I was about to say Varus, very good in Seraphine.
like it's very difficult to play out the game for them. But if you blind pick your AD carry and they punish you because you decided to pick Caitlyn and then they just go Seraphine, I don't think there's that much you can do. Like, Caitlyn's not terrible into it, but Caitlyn can't walk up and just auto because Seraphine will throw Q in the path of the auto chase. So, because you don't have a instant CC tool, you can't force the engagement, so to say. And that's the only reason why we see in AD carry, pretty much, you have a bunch of AD carries that can CC people, or AD carries that can effectively just be part of the engagement dive. Like, Samira is probably broken as well, but that's very comp dependent. And that requires you to have the stronger support in the 2v2. Like, be able to just go in and fight. Because her, you know, block skill will block the CC that Seraphine does, for instance. But I would definitely suggest trying to practice your Jhin combos, practice your Xayah combos. Even Ashe does work. I don't think it's as good as Varus's.
I don't even know like what to build on that champ now, because I don't think Tree forces it.
On hit, Ashe is the strongest build right now,
I guess
not
like
Trinity.
Winsu's, yeah.
Winsu's is incredibly good right now, yeah.
Alright. Because I would try
Kraken
Tree
Slayer
Force
is
and it just
very
feel
good.
absolutely useless, so...
You don't go Trinity anymore.
Yeah.
That's an outdated build path.
Yeah.
What I would suggest doing, kind of, is let me link you a site. I'm gonna turn off that stream for a little bit. Have you guys ever gone on LoL Analytics? Do you guys know how to use it?
Yeah, I use it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because there's also Game of Legends. That one is more of a pro play stat site, but obviously there's no real stats there because the season hasn't started. Everything is outdated on that one. Well, this pulls from solo queue ladders, so it's a little easier to interpret. I would, by default, at the very top of the screen, if you go to the website, go to where it says Emerald and change it to at least D2+. Because anything under that, the data just isn't that relevant.
Alright.
And I typically will switch it between KR, E West, and NA, looking at them independently, because a lot of the regions have much lower level of play at the top end on the ladders, so some of the data you get is kind of not particularly relevant. I'll tell you that Ashe, for example, her best win rate build right now at high elo, there are two of them. There's Blade of the Rune King Gwinsu, and there's Kraken Slayer IE. Those are the two best win rates statistically on Ashe.
Okay.
Keep in mind that either way, you don't get much CDR going these builds, so your ult cooldown is going to be relatively long. And I don't think Ashe is a tier 1 pick. I think that she's a situational pick if they have a lot of champions that don't really have dashes that are reliant on running at you quickly.
Yeah, like low range comps.
But, like, in general, most places where you can pick Ashe Varus will do a similar role but stronger.
Diarrhea.
I don't know if you have any interest in playing it. Vayne top lane is ridiculously strong in a lot of the matchups right now. And Swain bot is also pretty strong right now. Specifically, there are some matchups it works into solo lanes too, but
Like Swain with like what, like a melee support? Or
yeah, usually it's with a melee
Okay.
support where you just hard engage
Okay.
because you have the Swain passive to pull.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to deal with that, as most champions. Cassiopeia is also theoretically a flex pick for bot lane, if you do pick it up.
I can play Cass.
Does anyone have any questions about specifics, or do you have any information about your opponents that might be relevant for this?
I did get their OPGG for the first game. If I can look at it, let's see. From what
I will say most of the people we play usually are Master Plus for the most part.
yeah,
Or,
a lot of people this season.
Diamond Plus.
A lot of people this season are like Emerald, Diamond from ARPL at least. So like looks like as of right now the guy that we're playing against, their jungle, their support looks like he spent a lot of Mumu and Rakan. Their AD's playing a lot of Twitch and Jhin. Their mid's playing a lot of Aatrox, Action, Akali. Their top laner's playing Ornn, Yone, and Mordekaiser. And then, I don't even know what role this guy plays. They got two people that are playing. I don't know who their AD is, because they got one guy that's just... I don't know who their jungle is, because they got two mid laners for his first game.
Huh.
Like two mid lanes.
It sounds like they're planning on playing Engage, either a 4-1 split push Engage, or a just 5-man ball, effectively. Because it sounds like their bot lane is playing Engage support plus CC AD carry, or flank AD carry. Like, Twitch is pretty much exclusively a teamfight punish champ. He's very weak if you set up proper pink ward control, though, and it's very easy to pink ward out the current river bushes. I'm pretty confident that the strongest playstyle in the game right now is 4-1 heavy engagement, and as many people running Ingenious Hunter as possible to get the lower trinket cooldowns. But let's see. You probably want to do you think that you would struggle against Twitch roams, or are you guys pretty good at calling out when the AD goes missing?
I could definitely be on it.
For the most part, we're pretty vocal about where the enemy team is.
Okay.
Also, I don't stay in lane very long, bot lane. I usually wait till level 3, and then I'm immediately running mid or towards the jungle anyway, so...
Okay.
I could probably meet him in any roams. Our problem would be if he backs, then we don't know where he's going to go. So he could randomly roam mid, up lane, and we wouldn't know.
Yeah, because Twitch right now is quite good as a roamer. There's a lot of incidental damage in the game right now, so he doesn't really need items to start killing people.
How do you think we should play with around Void Grubs? Do you think we should 5-man every time they spawn, or what? Or send support up?
I think if it's possible to set up a reset on the wave that Void Grubs will spawn before, you could recall on the shove, both of you, and then both of you immediately go topside. And the thing is, if you do a 3-man into the top lane, shove the wave out, or 3-man into the mid, shove the wave out, immediately go to Void Grubs, there's not really a response your enemies will do. Because, like, in theory, to set that up, you might need your jungler to go bot lane on that wave setup, right? So, for instance, we gotta think that the wave before, I mean, like 30 seconds before spawn. Top lane, if they have TP up still, they could immediately pull a reset relay. They don't even need to be there. Because if top lane is in a good wave position for it, the bot lane can just swap to top, and the top laner can recall and go bot. In theory, if the wave shoved in, they should be getting there when the wave is meeting in center. But that's assuming they have TP up. Otherwise, it would be worth it to sack a wave in order to get the Void Grubs. And if you have to give up a dragon, that's very worth it in the current game. So you're probably going to look at doing... Let me think. I'm trying to think about the wave positioning. Because you would need at least like a stack wave of like 2 or 3 to have much of a chance of it working well. So like it's not always going to be possible, obviously, but "4 minutes 30 doesn't have a cannon minion though, which is the slightly awkward part about doing this. Well, Void Grub spawns at 5. It's the 5-minute wave that's the cannon wave, and that's usually the one that you would push in for a reset. And the thing is, if you recall and no one catches the bot wave, that's a cannon wave to take like 3 plates off of, right? So it's not like Void Grubs are just free if someone doesn't catch the wave if they're not also resetting.
Okay, I have a question. What if, like, at that point, when we send bot lane up, bot lane would take mid, and then we send mid bot to go catch the wave?
That is fine as well, as long as it looks like they're giving it. So if you guys both go to mid, let's say you come through topside mid or bot-side mid, do a 3-man there. If mid lane immediately walks bot, and the 2 of you go up to Rift, if it looks like they backed off and they let you get the shove on mid, that's completely fine. The secondary problem, I think, is that right now it's looking at least like Ghost on a lot of mid laners has a much higher win rate than TP does. I'm still waiting a bit on the data to shake out for that, but it's probably just due to how strong mobility is in the current patch and how much team fighting there really is. I mean, you no longer have a tool like... The previous season, we had, Hullbreaker on top laners, and on some mid laners that would enable you to pretty much end the game through side laning. Well, now it's much more dependent on managing an engage, and having Ghosts to avoid the engagement is very, very strong. So what I'm just trying to caution you on is that if the mid laner goes bot, and you guys read them wrong and they decide to fight you at Grub, you might end up giving up the Void Grub. And also a single mid laner, if you don't have TP up, which you probably won't at that timing, because you'll probably have already used TP to go back to mid at 4 minutes, for instance. You won't be able to respond if they decided to fight, so you'll have to be reliant on your vision and predicting your enemy off of the shove. So it's very important for you guys to actively pay attention to what they're doing. Obviously, I can't really tell you the correct option in every case because, I mean, it depends on composition, it depends on what your opponents are doing. In general, I am a huge fan of pretty much proposing things for your enemy to do. So, like, by making that sort of play, your opponents need to decide what to do, and as long as you're the ones to make the decision to do the swap, they're going to be reacting to your decision, which usually introduces the element of them doing the wrong thing to it. If they don't make a split-second decision, okay, let's punish them by diving bot. If it's just a mid laner in bot, that is the correct move for them to make. The problem, I mean, it's twofold. One, if you're playing some of the champions like Akali or Fizz, they can't really make that dive play, right?
Mm-hmm.
Two, they're going to lose Void Grubs, and if you guys can manage it, if you're still healthy, you might even be able to rotate top after and just start taking plates top if they sent 3 bot. But it really depends on the timing of the play and the champions. Like, sorry for rambling a little bit. It's just,
No, no worries.
It's difficult for me to say the correct move. I'm just saying that you probably want to be pretty cautious about specifically cannon wave bot lane at 5 minute. You might... I'm not sure. You might be better off shoving the 5 minute wave and risking them having a 30-second advantage on it if you know that they wouldn't start it. Because that would pretty much remove the need to have someone in bot lane. But either way, you're giving up a risk there. Because either you're risking the plates or you're risking the grubs. I think there's pretty much no case that First Dragon is nearly as strong.
So basically, grubs are just more important.
I mean, they're just broken because they give you access to far more silver effectively because the plate gold and the objective gold in general on towers is insane. Like, you know, a tier 2 is worth 700 solo gold.
Okay, I have a question. What if, like you were talking about earlier, how some teams would just like if you had a bad top lane matchup, you'd pick like a Scion or a Tom Kinch or something like that, you know, send them bot lane, and then you send your top, you send your bot lane top. What if we played it like that, and then that way we'd have our bot lane already at Void Grubs when Void Grubs spawned?
That's certainly fine. I think that lane swapping will be a very strong strategy this season, unless Riot decides to fix it in some way. Like outright
Also,
lane swaps.
About that, like, double support item, so they didn't, like, they just removed that passive they introduced, like, to stop funneling, so you can just build 2 support items again?
Kind of. There's still the passive where you get the reduced gold. It's just the upgrade form is broken.
I see, so this doesn't matter.
It doesn't even matter right now. Like, there's...
Okay.
The problem is, those items are too strong, they're too gold efficient for what they do.
So I feel like they're just gonna get nerfed then. I mean...
They probably will.
So is there a point of, like, really practicing it? Like, do you think that we could still do it?
That
Even if they
depends.
nerf it?
I don't know how your season is rated, right?
Yeah.
Are you guys, kind of scored based on... Is it like a season where you need to get a certain win percentage? Is it a tournament style?
So basically,
I think it's just like we have to win a series.
So there's 10 groups. Each game in our group is best of 3, I think. And then it goes off of record, and then I think it's the best one from each group. It might be the best 2 from each group, or the best one from each group, and then additional ones that like wild card kind of go on to like the tournament.
Okay.
So it'll be like record based until tournament, and then it'll be like single elimination or double elimination tournament. You had no.
I'm trying to, but the overnights have not been going through apparently.
Hmm.
I swear if they don't, I'm gonna scream.
So, if something is strong right now, right, and if you're having diversification of your champions, like the gamble that you run is like you can say like, oh well, double support, Riot surely is gonna fix that. Well, historically Riot might, but also historically Riot might not. You know, I mean,
Yeah, it is fucking
I mean, you do have like, you know, I mean, just think of back of Banner of Command, you know, or Heart of Gold. I mean, yeah, eventually they took him away, you know, but like how long? There's not like a there's not like a little.
I bring my laptop back.
My only
cannot
worry
predict
with
it.
that playstyle though is usually I'm our main carry damage.
Because the
Okay.
UI for mobile.
So if I'm playing like a support, then we have to have like someone else be in big damage.
So,
Something like
here's the
a
thing.
Camille
I
Top.
don't want to do it on that.
That's the only thing I'm worried about with
Because
playing
it'll
that.
steal your shit.
Think about it this way. When you
Or not,
play...
just mobile either way in that case.
We still need to like take Baron and shit and have damage for it.
Yeah, I
I mean,
mean,
look at that. Like,
it's not always better running it, but
as soon as I click on
it's
the
very
link,
difficult for your opponent to play into it if they're not very practiced playing into it. If that makes sense, like,
Yeah.
those sort of double support styles, it's not something
Like
people are
Alpha
usually
real
as
quick.
used to, so it's harder for
Yeah.
people to deal with it.
Yeah, because if they don't like intentionally go to counter it, you're just fucked. Because they're just gonna outstand you in a fight.
Yeah, like,
it, no?
there's
Yeah.
nothing you can do if
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah,
oh,
it's not offense.
I picked a... I don't know, what's a normal bot lane? Let me think. Like, I picked...
Rel Jin, I guess, would be a normal ball lane.
I mean, no, Rel Jin is very good against the double support, though.
That's what I
That's
would
not
think.
really a...
Would be a normal ball lane though.
I mean,
Like-
that is a very good bot lane.
I
That
really
would be
don't.
very solid. Jin is absurdly broken right now.
Yeah, I've been playing
I-
Volt
Fucking
Take Cyclone
over.
Sword. That shit's
Pull
awesome.
yourself.
I mean, yeah, it's Voltaic, Cyclone Sword, and Deflector.
That'll be
His
honestly
build
kinda
is-
funny though.
I don't know, his build path is too good right now.
Yeah.
Stormrazor is also absurdly strong, by the way.
Oh yeah.
That's
You
what
know,
you
like
would do on
Illusion.
Kaya. You just rush Stormrazor now.
Mhm.
Because it gives you the move
this-
speed, so you can just chase them down with W on. None of the other 80 carries can really trade
you
with
already
you
put it in
once
last
you're
night?
one item.
I put one in for.
I think if you put one in there,
Zaya's really
Draven's
good now,
also,
too.
by the way, very strong. It's just I didn't bring him up because Draven is a very weird champion if you're not
Yeah.
a Draven main.
I mean, I can play him. I mean, I'm not like a super Draven player though, but I can play him.
Yeah, I mean, Kai'Sa, by the way, also
Okay,
is
I guess.
ridiculously
Yeah.
good with
Second floor, like right when you come off the stairs.
kind of a weird build. You go... Oh, where was it? It was like...
Second floor, like right off the thing. You'll see it's coming commander.
Currently, Kai'Sa would have to go multiple build paths, kind of. Like, you just build for your W.
If he's not in there,
But she's kind of absurd once she has items. It just, Kai'Sa doesn't have CC, so you will tend to lose the game if you pick Kai'Sa and they have double support.
Mm-hmm.
But Kai'Sa's good into standardized bot lanes. And she's good into engaged champion. She's just bad against double support. Aphelios also apparently has a very good win rate right now, but I don't necessarily think he's that strong. I just think he has, you know, some CC to force engagement, I guess. And the current 80 carry items are very good. So
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like MF and Jin just shit on him.
I mean, Jin is just the best AD carry.
Yeah.
Just outright, Jin is broken. And I think tanks in general are broken right now if they're running Ingenious Hunter, because Riot didn't really balance them around the idea of the faster ticks on things like the Unending Despair item or the Rocker and Shield. Because having a 6-second out of combat to get Rocker and Shield back is insane. Because it pretty much means it's up for every single poke spell your enemies try to use.
Yeah.
Now, all of these are viable styles. I do really like, actually, what Riot did, because I think that they made pretty much everything viable right now. So there's not just one clearly better style. Well, I say that, but like...
Did you get it?
It didn't go through because it's not 750 right now. That's why. But I need
It's
to leave.
slightly not acknowledging that the strongest style in the game right now
Somehow
is, you
they'll-
know,
I will
split
get
push top
trouble,
laner
but
that
it'll go
abuses
away.
Titanic Hydra,
Okay.
but
I mean, I could send out.
while your team wave clears for you and you play scale in mid in a 1-3-1 setup and no one can match you.
Shooting range,
But
I don't want to do all that to you.
But
Also, because I literally just said to Plunkett that I'm going to be leaving soon.
that requires
He
a
said he's
top
good- he
laner
said
and a
he's
mid
cool then.
laner that are both
Yeah, if
very
I
good at
put-
playing
if
the
I put
split
it
push
on
style.
my door that I'm leaving and all that shit,
which
then
most
I'll
teams
get
just
pulled.
don't
I'll
have,
get
even in
pulled,
competitive
but
play.
It'll go away.
Have fun then.
Yeah, of course.
It's also why you're seeing a lot of people playing AD LeBlanc right now in Korean solo queue, because yes, it's annoying in lane, but it's not really picked as a lane phase boy. It's just being picked because it's one of the best split pushers in the game. And as long as you can split push and you can guarantee objective control, that's really all you need to do to win the game right now. Like, you get so much tower damage off of securing the early Void Grubs that even LeBlanc, a champion that normally isn't very good at taking tier 2, for instance, suddenly you can
Melts
take
it.
it, and tier 2 is worth like 3 kills worth of gold, right? So any of those champions that can split push, just like...
I'm gonna get water.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, I don't really have a huge amount else to say about the current game, unless you guys had questions about specific things.
No questions for the Mago? Anybody? I know that somebody just went for water, but does
Yeah.
anybody have any questions for any specific thing?
Yeah. Hey, what's a good Cassio build? I'll try to play her a little bit, see if I can pick her up.
Okay, so on
Here we go.
Cassio, go Conqueror, right? Conqueror, Presence of Mind, Legend Tenacity, and depending on the game, it's either Coop or the anti-tank rune, whatever it's called. Then in secondary, I would suggest running Celerity with Mana Flow Band. By the way, also, if you're... I don't know if the AD carry's still here or if he's the one that went for water.
I just got back.
Yeah, if you're playing Jhin or Xayah, for instance, go Celerity, by the way.
Yep, I always do.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
Celerity is one of the most underrated runes in the game.
Yeah,
Please
it's
abuse it until Riot nerfs it.
Turning into a
And it's good with
snowball.
ghosts, since people are always taking that now too. So
Yeah. It actually also amplifies the move speed. Like, something people don't understand from reading it
Trying though.
is the 7% move speed on bonus move speed things. It actually increases your move speed from things like your boots, because your boots are coded as bonus move speed.
yeah,
It also increases your move speed from things like plus 5% move speed, for instance, on Storm Surge. As we know from Riot's balance patches in the past, a +5 or -5 move speed change on an AD carrier or mid laner can change their win rate in solo queue by like 2%. So, yeah. Anyway, Cassio wants to go Seraph's Embrace. You want to then either go Rylai's or Cosmic Drive, and then get the other of the two. Then your fourth item is going to typically be completely situational. Riftmaker is good if you need more damage. Janksho the Protector is very good if you need to be tankier, and if they have a lot of dive. Even Rockern, the MR item, is very good just because if they have assassins, effectively Rockern is a better version of Edge's Veil for survivability.
I see.
Because, like, okay, they have poke mages, I get Rockern, they can't poke me.
Is it up more? It's just more. It's up more frequently than
It's a
Banshee's Shield
12-second
too,
cooldown.
right? Yeah, it's like nuts. Like what the fuck?
This guy's from
Banshee's Veil, they nerfed to a 60-second cooldown.
Yeah, that shit is so bad now.
He's like going to be in Korea.
And it has no CDR.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like just on no.
nuts.
That's funny.
Admittedly, you could go fourth item
he
death
was like a
cap. I
2008
don't
grad.
suggest it. I don't think it's the correct build path in almost any case. You do funny damage with it, but survivability is more important.
Why go nicotine? Are you like, I mean, good?
Yeah, we made it to the tournament last year.
Leandries, by the way, is also a very good item.
This
It's
year
just
will be
only
better,
very
though.
good if they have a lot of tanks.
Sick.
Side note, if they are hard stacking MR, you do avoid staff as an option, obviously. 40% reduction is going to be the most damage of any item, but because it costs 3,000 gold now, it's kind of like a win harder item.
I'm just gonna literally screenshot that.
And you will tend to be able to kill the tanks even without a void staff as long as you don't die.
Yeah.
Hey baby, you want a Herkle Gargle?
What is that? Just lounge in bed.
Just a little fancy wording.
My vocab is exquisite.
You want to sound like a retard? Well, I got you today, Herkle Gargle.
Alright.
Do keep in mind about picking Cassio that you have a pretty weak lane into poke mages.
What if you first itemed fucking Rookers?
I mean that does hard counter them, but you're gonna do 0 damage.
You'll be utility Cassio with your ult.
But yeah, like Cassio, it's very strong. The worst Cassio matchup in the entire game is against Vel'Koz.
Okay, but no one plays Vel'Koz.
Hey man, you might find a squid main. Maybe you'll play against Azop.
Oh my. No, he's too. He's EUS, bro. I don't got to deal with that.
I know. No, but he hit Challenger in NA at 160 ping.
I mean, yeah, he's good. He knows what he's doing.
That just shows how shit NA is, though. Honestly.
Hey.
I mean, partially, but it's also just to say that, like...
Hey, that's my region you're talking
You don't
about.
need good reaction time to play Vel'Koz. You just need to, like... I don't know, you just press R.
You just gotta press
Vel'Koz players are nuts, though. He's so fucking hard. I have respect for them.
Hey, man. And yeah, in all seriousness, no, in competitive, either ban Talea or get comfortable first picking Talea.
Oh, she's that broken.
She's the best mid laner in the entire game. She has no counterplay currently.
I watched Nemesis play a video. I might be able to try to pick her up. But...
Like, the thing that you have to understand is poke mages, like, so, like, Cassio can't effectively play into Talea because Cassio has to walk through the E to get in range of Talea, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're walking through the E, then you're slowed, and she has a free cast of W on you.
Yeah, and you're getting stunned, and then you're taking half your
And then
HP
you're
with
getting
Q.
stunned, and you lose half your health, and you can't get off an E. So you can't really do anything, but Talia also has the better roam.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing with Talia is I suck with her ult. Every time I try to play her.
So, like... Or, let's say you're playing into Azir, right? You
Yeah.
can't shuffle in against a Talia. She puts E down. You're stunned. You can't ult.
Yeah.
Let's say you play, Zed into Talia because you think it counters it. She W's behind herself. You get instantly stunned when you ult. Oh. The only things that are good against Talia are like other high range poke mages.
Vel'Koz again.
Vel'Koz, Orianna. But these
What about Hawaii? What about
here's the
Hawaii?
problem.
Yeah.
You pick any of these champions. Yeah, Hawaii would be pretty good against it too. But
Yeah.
like, you pick any of these champions into Talia, and Talia just says, "Okay, screw you. I'm pushing wave and roaming." And
Yeah,
it's
you
like,
can just
I'm permanently
Okay.
pushing mid, getting void grubs.
yeah. So not even
mid, I'm
Ohana
going
can do
top. I'm
that.
pushing mid, going top because
Yeah.
even though they made it harder to gank these lanes, Talia ult can still gank them.
Yeah, it's true.
And actually, it's easier to gank them for Talia now than it used to be. Because there's bigger walls to play off of, so there's less angles for you to need to block off.
Oh, yeah. It's true. So true.
She's just broken. I don't know.
Mm.
And, like, yeah, pretty much just that. Talia's broken. Galio is, he's going to see a lot of pro play. I don't know if I'd call him broken because he does have counterplay, unlike her. But
Boom, boom.
also, I've changed my mind about caster mages in general right now. I think that things that are CDR dependent on their old build path, like Orianna was, are not very good right now. Because if Orianna goes a mage build, she's lacking damage
Yeah. I
because she doesn't have enough CDR.
I felt that exact same thing, which is like terrible for me because those were the champs that I was most comfortable with. So
Where, like, the reason that champions like Talea and Cassio do very well, even with these items, is because they really only cared about staying alive, and then their kit will do the damage for them.
yeah,
They can afford to just build pure utility, and they'll have enough damage intrinsically.
which makes me like I kind of like hard for me to wrap my head around how Cassia is better now because they removed a lot of like HP from the AP items.
They actually didn't, though. Think about your build path here for a second. Seraph's gives you like a 400 health shield in the early game, right?
Yeah.
Then your next item is Cosmic Drive, which, guess what? It builds out of Kindle Gem. That also has health on it. Your next item is Rylai's. Guess what? That also has health on it. Your next item's either a tank item or it's Riftmaker, which, guess what? Also has health on it.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But I was thinking like other mages though, like where you get like, like you don't have demonic anymore that had HP. You don't have like Rylai's doesn't
They
have
just
any
transferred
HP.
it to
Rylai's doesn't have HP
Riftmaker.
on it. Not Rylai's. I mean Archangel's doesn't have HP on it anymore like it used to. It just has the shield.
Okay, but Archangels was complete trash before because they took away the shield for a while and they made it so the passive gave you like an extra 10 AP or something. It was horrible.
And then you also like wasn't Cassio's like main build Rod of Ages, and now Rod of Ages sucks.
It was Rod of Ages. Rod of Ages was very strong, right? The thing about Rod of Ages is the reason it was strong was not the healing, it's not the stat build, it was because of the stupid move speed passive. The passive that no one really paid attention to, the thing that at 100 stacks the mana burn, you'd get the move speed buff of like 20%. Cassio could proc that every couple E's, so she would permanently have it in fights.
Yeah.
And it just gave absurd amounts of sustain to Cassio too in lane. So, like, yeah, it was really good. It let Cassio play into poke mages without wanting to tear her hair out. But, I guess you could theoretically still build it if you wanted to, but you don't have the move speed anymore.
So what like mages bot do you think are like the best?
Waybot is very good. Cassiobot is very good.
What about Ziggs?
I think Ziggs is solid, yes. But I don't think... I think Ziggs requires you to know how to play Ziggs.
I can play Ziggs very well.
I actually think, well, I guess among those, Ziggs might be the easiest of the three, thinking about it, actually. Way's a little hard, but...
Yeah, like my go-to mage bots, like in the past, have been like Ziggs, Veigar, and Victor.
Hawaiias and Ohana means family.
Hey, yeah, is Veigar any good this patch?
Not... Here's the thing about Veigar. It's not that he's that bad, but he's... How do I put this? His E does not function well into most champions people pick right now. Edge of Night is a very easy item to build on most AD assassins. And it makes his gate kind of useless. You can't really max E second anymore. They removed that playstyle. And his build path just sucks.
Yeah, but I'm
Honestly,
also like,
we're just that, like, Veigar does not have a good build right now.
yeah, but I also feel like, see, because I played him earlier and he felt like I couldn't like tell if he was good or if he was shit. Like it sounds weird, but like I couldn't tell if it was like my build was terrible or if he's terrible because I was like building kind of tank Veigar, you know, and then letting my passive be my damage. If that
Yeah,
makes
the
sense.
problem with this Veigar now is before he used to build like 2 AP items, you just go full tank and be like unkillable and still deal tons of damage. But I feel like you can't really do that now. So
Again, MR items are much stronger than they used to be.
But yeah, then I don't think he does damage though, because he can't just.
Yeah, that's kind of my point. If
Exactly,
your opponents build MR,
Yeah.
Veigar will not do damage. His
Yeah.
numbers are all based on burst, effectively. So
Yeah.
you kind of have to go a lot of AP to do damage. But if you go a lot of AP, then you get one shot by any sort of assassin. Or any sort of incidental damage will
Yeah.
kill you. Like,
So you-
hell,
yeah,
a
he's
Nami
build.
support will probably do 80% of your health in one combo.
Yeah.
If you don't have a MR item.
Yeah.
Especially if the Nami's as good at me at Nami.
Okay, so like Cass, what was the other one you said?
So, Cass Hui is...
Yeah, Cass Tway. What about Syndra?
I don't think Syndra's very good right now. I think Swain is a much better bot laner.
Oh yeah, Swain. That's the other one. Okay.
Syndra Loki
Swain.
sucks.
Swain is...
My Swain's pretty good. So
Syndra is actually kind of falling under the same issue that Orianna has. That it's not that she's necessarily bad, but the current items... They really are better suited on mages that have very low cooldowns. Or that have a lot of inbuilt mobility. Syndra does not have inbuilt mobility.
Syndra's really strong if they don't build any MR, but as soon as they build Rooker, you're fucking useless.
Yep, pretty much.
That's my experience of playing her. I played one game of her and I hated it. Same with Oriana.
Syndra also needs a lot of CDR to function in teamfights, because normally you're trying to be a stun bot if they build a lot of MR, but there's not good build paths right now to have a lot of CDR on mages. It's like, in theory, if you wanted to do that, you'd go Cosmic Drive, and then you just don't do damage, though, really. You just exist to stun people, and then you might as well be a support.
So we're hearing is Syndra supports meta.
What you're hearing is don't pick Syndra, but, you know...
What are your thoughts
if you
on Medjay?
choose to pick Syndra, it's fine. You can make it work. It's just not... It's not as easy to win on as other picks are. Oh, by the way, also the obvious one is you can just play Seraphine instead of an AD carry with any bot lane, and it will work even if you don't go the support item. You know, because Seraphine is completely broken with the current item.
I mean, surely
game.
they patched the support Seraphine AD carry bullshit, though, right?
Nope. That was not part of the hotfix.
Surely they will patch it, though, eventually.
Freak said there won't be another patch for like 2 weeks at least. Like, until the next, like, normally scheduled patch. I think it was like 11 days or something. I think the 23rd, right?
Well, that'll be before our game. Damn.
So, like, maybe it will get nerfed then, right? As a side note, just because I was kind of curious about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the support item grants reduced gold, right? So it sounds like it's a bad thing. The problem is... Yeah. 5 gold per 10 seconds, right?
That's a lot like Heart of Gold.
And it has... Like, what AD carry players are sometimes doing right now for the double support item setup, I don't know if it's optimal. I've seen a couple people do it. Is they go Bloodsong. Like, I've seen MF that's doing it. And Bloodsong has Spellblade on it, right? And that would mean that they cause 8% increased damage to people. It's a ridiculously gold efficient item. And again, if you have double support items in the bot lane, that means that your team has way more vision control than the enemy team does.
Yeah, I was watching.
And that's the real reason that I think it's unhealthy for the game if Riot doesn't remove it, because, like, clearly the team with double support is more likely to win because they have so many more wards available to them, right?
Yeah.
Because they're the ones that get to choose engagements. You can't really flank them because they have better vision control.
Yeah, it's true.
As effectively, by running double support item, it means both of them can go sweeper. While, normally the AD carry would have to run, you know, blue trinket or green trinket. I will say that the reduced gold is pretty nasty if, you know, if you're farming. But the thing is, keep in mind, because of the reduced gold passive, you can kind of just not care about it, because by having the support item, you get gold anyway, right? So you can play in the style, so you just walk up to your opponents and propose trades right when they need to last hit, not caring about getting last hits yourself. But you're getting gold either way, they aren't, you know?
Yeah. Do you know like how many minions you can take for like you get diminishing returns on that? So I wonder if you could just like swap back between your support
Well,
and then.
That's what you do. You can't. The thing is, it's based on a kind of a weird formula. Let me find it. Gold.
I mean, also the support item gives you full gold when you use like the proc on the minions.
Yeah. But does using that charge like act like toward, does that like add a counter toward the diminishing returns counter, I guess you'd call it? I wonder.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find the exact formula because they put it in patch 9.23.
Because I'm wondering, like, if you can just do that with like Seraphine and another Enchanter, that's what they're doing. You just do that with, like Senate Tom Kench, you just both take support item then? Just say fuck it?
Yeah. So you get one charge every 18 seconds. You can definitely get every cannon with it. So you just focus on cannons and melees, but I'm having trouble finding Oh, here it is. 2 minions per minute until 5 minutes. 4 minions per minute thereafter.
Okay.
So, the thing about that is... At least that's what it was when they added it to the game 2 years ago. I mean, melee minions and tank minions are worth more silver. You just never last hit the range minions. Also, even if you have the reduced minion share, your ally will actually still get the full gold value of the minion when you share the minion. You just yourself don't get the gold. So, you know. Also, here's the stupid part about this, right? You only get 20 gold from the item's passive, right, on World Atlas. But your ally gets the full silver value of the minion, even if your ally also has a support item. you understand why this becomes very stupid?
Yeah.
Because it effectively means that if you both are only last hitting the cannons and the melee minions, guess what? You guys just have more silver than the other team has, more gold.
Yeah.
And these items are stupidly gold efficient and give you kind of overpowered abilities when fully upgraded. Like the Misfortune example, they were using their Q with Bloodsong, and because the Q, I believe, applies...
The Sheen, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would get the 8% damage amp off of that, and 8% in early game is a lot of extra damage for an item that is effectively free. And like, if they got to super late game, obviously they would sell it, right? But most games won't go that late. Yeah, just checking some stats. 5 minutes into most of these games, when I'm looking at double support item, the AD carry and support are both roughly equivalent on either team, even if they're even otherwise. So, like, if there's 0 kills involved, the team with double support item is not disadvantaged from running double support item, but they're advantaged because of the additional vision, and they're advantaged because of having more gold on the support in addition to the same gold on the AD carry.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know.
Yeah.
Stupidity, effectively.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, so I'm sure you can just do that too on Conkench if you get away with it.
Yeah.
Taking the shield if you don't need it.
I'm quite certain you can pick any bot lane and run it effectively. Also, something to watch out for as a mid laner, especially if you do decide you want to play Cassio, is
Inting.
well, that, but also Vladimir is quite good right now too.
Wait, who'd you say?
I think Vladimir.
Vlad.
Oh yeah, fuck Vlad. I hate that champ.
I don't know if you've seen yet, but Elite 500 has been spamming Vlad with Cosmic. What is it like? Sorry, it's Riftmaker first item, Leandries,
Okay.
and then
But he's also a Vlad one trick, so he spams Vlad anyway.
he is a Vlad one trick. But I just want to caution you and say that he's ending games when he's full build at like 5,000 health, 1,000 AP, and 200 armor and MR.
Wait, actually?
Sounds stupid.
Wait, what's the
Yes.
fucking build? I'm gonna play Vlad. Holy shit.
Because of the health scaling and all of the AP items having health and high AP now.
Okay, I'm looking
So-
up Vlad build. Let's see. Is this like
This
the build right?
motherfucker's triple dipping.
Is this the build right here? Riftmaker into Leandries? What the fuck? That does not seem right.
Yeah, it's Riftmaker, Leandries, and then Jank Show.
What the fuck? Okay, I just changed. It looks like it's Cosmic and Riftmaker. What? This is weird.
I mean, he doesn't typically go Cosmic now.
Okay.
Like, most of the games, he doesn't get that AP because that involves getting to death cap. But you can do it. Like, Crypt Bloom also, by the way, is actually an incredibly good item on a lot of champions. I know it's
You said
not
crypt.
an item. Crypt Bloom,
What is that?
I want to say, that's the one that heals you on, like, not heals you, it creates the healing fields when you kill champions within 3 seconds of damaging them.
Oh,
The thing is,
yeah.
even though the passive sucks, that item is better than Void Staff.
You swear.
If there's any case where you would build Void Staff, you pretty much want to build Crypt Bloom instead.
That's hilarious.
You swear, Void.
Here's why.
What?
Because Void Staff is 40% Magic Pen, right? Crypt Bloom is 30% Magic Pen, 70 AP, and 15 Ability Haste. There's almost no champion in the game that would rather the extra 10% pen compared to 15 Ability Haste. And 150 less gold for the cost.
Yeah.
And then you also have Life from Death, which is like, I don't know, that passive is not very good, but...
Everything else is
it's
better.
something, though, right?
We're right back. Bathroom.
So what you're telling me is, like, Vlad build should be, like, Riftmaker into Landry's into Jack Show, and then I'll have, like, 1,000 AP and, like, 5,000 HP? No way.
Effectively, once you're full build, you can have 1,000 AP. You're not going to have 1,000 AP in the majority of games you play.
Wait, okay,
Right.
what is this? Oh, Crypt Bloom. 70 ability power, 30% magic pin, 15 ability haste. Whenever you get a 10.
That is like a 4th item in some games, depending on what the game is going like. Again, it is not,
it's just like only when you're going to build Void Staff.
Yeah, effectively, if you're going to build Void Staff, that item is just better than Void Staff on pretty much every champion in the game.
Do you ever build Storm Surge? Is that item still broken? Like, I know they nerfed it, but is it still good?
Storm Surge is a broken item, but it's not broken on most mid laners we've talked about.
Okay.
Like, it's good. It's really good as an item, right? Storm Surge is a good second item, though.
It's not.
Galio can rush it first item?
What about Fizz? I've been playing a lot of Fizz. Is he still rushing it?
Fizz probably will rush it, yeah.
Okay.
It was nice to meet you. I gotta take off here.
Yep, nice meeting you
Thanks
guys.
for all the help.
No problem.
See you later, Staffy. Oh, there you left.
The skies will rain red.
Oh, and the obvious thing is you run on Vlad anyway, conditioning overgrowth.
Yeah.
With the HP scalar rune, that one is better than the other runes. 140 health is worth a lot more than 6 armor or 8 MR.
I got you.
But I'm gonna quickly grow in practice school and check the exact amount of stacks you get. Because I was slightly approximating it, but it's like completely absurd how broken Vlad is if you get to late game. Like, he's pretty much an unkillable monster that does over 1,000 damage per E. While being completely like, he's just unkillable while doing all that damage is the problem.
Yeah. Sounds like it. Sheesh.
I mean, I'm not gonna say, like, you always scale for free, because you don't, but it's very hard to... Well, echo.
Yeah,
That's a test, and you failed. That's what happens when you're talking to somebody about League, and then you're trying to join a draft pick in League of Legends. Sir?
Question mark?
No, and I logged into League, and he fucking invited me to a draft pick.
I can't play ranked
Shit.
with you, bro. You're too low elo.
Imagine being Diamond 1 with 21 wins. Let me know when you get there, alright?
Okay, I'm Diamond 4 with 3 wins. 3 wins and like 7 losses. Let's go.
Okay, so at 3 items, when you have... Well, let me reset my level, I guess. So that I can more realistically... I'm probably like level 13 or 14 at this point, right?
If it's me, I'm like level 18 with 3 items.
Yeah, sure.
You know, I can't really farm that well, so I'll be like 20 CS at like 50 minutes. Something like that.
That's pretty good.
That's why, yeah, I thought it was, man. I thought it was.
It's pretty good.
20 CS at 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think I was playing like Nautilus or something.
Yeah, so you're probably gonna have around 250 AP, 3,200 health, and 130 armor and 95 MR at 3 item.
And that's your
40.
Riftmaker.
That's Riftmaker, Janksho, and Leandries together with Ionian Boot.
Okay.
That is a pretty reasonable, like most games you'll probably reach this. Keep in mind that once you're in combat for 5 seconds, Janksho will pop. And when Janksho pops, it will increase your armor and MR bonuses by the 30% until combat ends. And it's pretty generous about when combat ends.
Isn't Jackson
like if you do no damage to things for like 8 or 9 seconds, I don't know.
Isn't Jackshow broken right now with like just the stats it gives?
Janksho is just stupid, yeah, but and then let's say I go super late game, I decide I want to do the bigs damage. So I grab a death cap and I grab probably Cosmic Drive, right? So with that build, I would have 660 AP. So not quite as much, 730 really. And that's with Janksho though too, and I have 4,200 health.
Damn. And that is Riftmaker Cosmic?
Yeah. Sorry, I have 4,900 health when I level to 18. So if I'm full build and I go like the heavy damage build, not the heavy tank build, where my only defensive item is Janksho, I still have 150 armor, 102 MR, and it goes up to 170 armor and 117 MR once Janksho pops. And again, 730 AP, so you're going to be one-shotting everyone anyway.
Yeah.
You can get 1,000 health if you like.
What's the more tankier build?
The more tanky build, instead of Death Cap, switch out those last 2 items for, where is it? Canic Rockern.
Mm-hmm.
And, which one was it? It's definitely Canic Rockern. I don't know what the best other item was.
Just be situational based on their comp.
It's probably situational on whether or not you need armor. He's been going Frozen Heart in a lot of his games, weirdly enough. I think that's just because Frozen Heart is like super cheap for what it gives you. It's only 2,300 gold.
Then you go that Crit Bloom against if you like 4th item if you ever need Void Staff.
Yeah, you could. I would also say that if they're really heavy magic damage, you can just go Abyssal Mask because it does like 25 negative MR on your enemies.
Yeah.
Like that item is completely broken. 2,400 gold for negative 25 on their MR.
Yeah, for sure.
He also goes Randuin in some of his games when they have a lot of crit. Because Randuin's got buffed, it's a critical strike steal 30% less. That's pretty solid.
Yeah.
There's also a 55% non-decay slow on Randuin's now, which is very, very solid too. So, like, if you go the tankier build with Janksho, Randuin's, and Rockern, right? Cosmic... Sorry, not Cosmic, Riftmaker and Leandry. You have 339 AP, 240 armor, and 221 MR, 4,800 health. And you have Rockern Shield for 963 magic damage. So you really have close to 6,000 health. And again, no mage is killing you through over 200 MR. That just doesn't happen.
You get your fat ass up and meet me at the gym, motherfucker.
Shut the fuck up.
Go to the fucking gym.
Fuck is this?
Go to the fucking gym, motherfucker.
I will also mention that the stats I'm giving you are not quite accurate because this is practice tool where I have 0 minions killed, so I don't have overgrowth stacks, and I don't have conditioning bonus either. So you're really a bit tankier than what I just said. If you include conditioning and, overgrowth.
Ooh, yeah, that's that. I mean, at that
That's
length of the game, yeah.
Which you would definitely have those finished by the time you get to late game. If I fast forward 10 minutes, like, let me just see how much extra armor and MR you get from conditioning. I think it's a lot. Holy, the whole game is lagged out. There's so many minions. What is this?
You don't even let us see, dude. What is this? That's the real question.
Here. I will stream this, just... It's very stupid. Go live, League of Legends. Like my... I don't understand, Riot.
Holy shit.
Oh my... Bro, let's go.
I'm just gonna kill all the minions quick.
Why was top lane so blue-sided?
I don't know. So anyway, once this is stacked, like this is giving you 240 health at 200 minions, so you're probably around 200 minion score when you're getting to late game. Maybe 300 is more accurate, but whatever. So you're around 5k health, right?
Mm-hmm.
Around 300 AP. That's without Sork Potion. So if I grab Sork Potion, which you will in late game, 350 AP over 5,000 health. Rockern is 1,000 magic shield. And again, your resists 258 and 238. I don't know. I don't think it's very hard to say that anyone that plays this will easily just 1v5 once they get to late game. There's also the obvious thing that I've Gathering Storm. You're probably going to be at the 30-minute point of Gathering Storm, which will give you more AP than I currently have. So, like, if you get to a 40-minute game, yeah, you're probably going to hit 1,000 AP if you go Def Cap build.
Is this a bunch of fucking Citadel boys?
Who the hell?
What the fuck?
Who is this?
Oh, that was my brother's friend. I don't know why he got in here, though.
Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna... Sorry, dude.
But yeah, this thing is just stupid.
It looks like it.
And yeah, if you decided you wanted to meme, you could sell your boots in crazy late game. Because you have Ghost anyway, right? And let's say you wanted... I mean, I don't know. That's 800 AP. If you sold Rockern and you win another AP item, it's probably the 1,000. Yeah, it's like 1,000 health AP because then you'd have the Gathering Storm procs. So, like, yeah, on full proc, right? Gathering Storm. If you're full build, you can definitely hit 1,000 AP. is it's 945 without Gathering Storm procs if you're 6 item, with 180 armor and 130 MR, and 5.5k health.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know, man. Wait. You know what I just noticed? I've never noticed this before. Vlad doesn't have a cast bar on his R.
What do you mean?
So, most champions, they have a casting animation that, like, if you watch really carefully, like, right in the middle of the screen when you cast a spell, it says, like, transfusion, for instance, right here, right? And during that time, you can flash, and it will still go off, but you'll break your animation, which is that cast time, by flashing. Well, Vlad's R actually does not have that.
It's just instant, so you can respond to it. Yeah.
There's no response time. There's no animation. It just instantly goes off.
Or click. Can't beat it.
Like, you see Tides of Blood has it. It's a really long one.
Yeah.
Your W also is instant, it looks like. Most champions don't have instant abilities.
Well, what was that?
Pretty
What
much
was
every
that?
other champion in the game, it's a 0.25 second timer before they
Oh,
go
turn
off.
that shit down. Holy shit, I'm deaf.
But yeah, just that. I'm not saying that Vlad is good. I'm just saying Vlad is, it's an option.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's an option that can be flexed technically into 3 roles, because it can play it bot lane too, and top lane.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I play that, so works.
Admittedly, I think AP items will probably get nerfed, but I don't know if the tank items will, and the reason Vlad's broken is how absurd the tank items are.
If they don't nerf tank items and they do nerf AP items, AP champs are gonna be useless.
Yes, that is pretty much true.
Because
if that is the case, then get comfortable playing tanks mid.
well, I am very comfortable with Ornn. That was my main for like 3 years.
Also, be very comfortable playing Vayne in mid and top lane. Then,
You know, I've never played Vayne mid, but I have played him. I have played her top a good bit.
as I imagine that playing Vayne mid against like Scion mid is like just free win.
Yeah, Caps telling his team, "Hey, don't worry about it. I got this."
I mean, the on-hit items are just broken this season, is the thing. Like, Winsu and the weird light-dark thing are both crazy overpowered. The problem is they untangled Winsu from crit, so now Winsu has way better build paths than it used to.
Yeah, I got you.
Anyway, guys, if you have anything, feel free to hit me up. Otherwise, I'm probably going to hop out.
Thank you so much, Fas. I appreciate
Thank
you,
you
brother.
so much, El Mago.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Take care, guys.
I'll catch you later,
Take
boss
care.
man. Nice to
Catch
meet
you
you.
later.
Yep. Same.
Nice meeting you all.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Alright, well, guess I'm gonna head out too.
See you later, guys.
Alright, see you.